You need to watch this top 1% hot lap if you want to get faster on the Hungarian Grand Prix circuit. Turn 1, brake harder around 80 meters, only using the entry curve if comfortable. Turn in at 50 meters, coming off the brakes to third gear and either lightly tap the inside curve for rotation, or stay away from the curve for better traction, which can be just as fast. On the power, and as long as you get the throttle down safely and as soon as possible, it's optional whether you use the exit curve. Keep it tight to the right through the bend, brake at 60 meters, get a tire on top of the curb to get the best possible entry, but not too far over it. This can be a middle or late apex corner. Turn in at the same time as you start braking, immediately bleeding off the brakes, either staying in fourth gear to maintain minimum speed, or slow down to third momentarily to use engine braking downhill, then short shifting back to fourth for traction. Do not touch the inside curve, and when you spot the red and white exit curve, point towards it as you open up the steering to get on the throttle. Full power through turn 3 and you can fully cut the corner. Using the exit curve is optional, and then we're going uphill just like LSI if you've subscribed and liked the video. Get right on top of the entry curve but not over it. Shift down to sixth just when the orange barrier is at the edge of the screen, but no brakes, instead full power, only lifting if needed. Fully cut the whole curve and let the car swing wide on exit. Quickly get the car to the left of the circuit, brake and turn as soon as the turn 4 exit curve disappears or just before the marshal post, down to fourth gear or fifth if you prefer, up the hill as you gain grip, staying away from the inside curve, then on exit, placing the tyres in between the main curve and the sausage curve. Turn 6, brake as soon as the curve begins, touching it on entry before going down to third or fourth being possible, turning in just before or at the 50 meters and fully riding the lower section of the inside curve, but ideally avoiding riding the higher section. However, cut turn 7 up to track limits using the high sausage curve to open up the racing line, pointing the car to the outside to counteract any instability. Turn in just after the 50 meter board around 30 meters, lift off the throttle as you leave the entry curve and either hold 5th gear or shift down to 4th using engine braking to slow down more. Both methods can be used as long as you mount the inside curb up to the grey concrete and get the car fully to the left as you open up turn 9. Maintain the same gear as you're in, turning and lifting as you reach the left of the circuit or where the top sponsor board hits the edge of your screen. Again, riding up to the inside concrete patch, then slowly feed the throttle as you reach the exit, going up to track limits. Now we hold the car tight to the left as we prepare for turn 11, get onto the entry curb if you can, sip gear, don't lift and only brush the inside curb lightly, run wide on exit to use all of the track. Braking hard just before the entry curb, brushing it slightly, turn in at 50 meters, coming off the brakes as you leave the curb, third gear momentarily but back to fourth quickly and on the power, riding the inside curb but not necessarily this hard if you prefer to hold a higher minimum speed, riding as wide as possible on the exit. Final 2 corners, downhill, passing your black box braking marker on the right, touching the entry curb briefly and braking with half force just after the black box. Third gear taking a long apex but not touching the grey curb, apply the throttle before the midpoint of the corner and feed it in as you aim to the outside up to the curb. Go as far to the left as possible, then turning in as you reach the marshal post on the left, lightly braking just after the white line or just before the pit entry curb appears into 4th gear and carrying a tight long apex not touching the inside curb, on the throttle already before the pit wall, straighten up the wheel, power up to the red and white curve only, open up the DRS across the line to set a 1:13.284, and that's how you get into the top 1% of drivers in the world. The setup for this video is on the left of your screen now and an adapted race setup is to the right. Good luck and let's race.